In this video, we're going to look at converting between bases. That is, taking a number that is not base 10 and converting that to a base 10 number, and then taking a number that is base 10 and converting it into a number in a different base. There are two main approaches here. One way, we're going to multiply and add, and then the other way, we're going to divide and subtract. Let's take a look at a couple examples. Here we're going to convert 341 base 6 to base 10. So the number we've been given, 3, let me clean that up a little bit, 3, 4, 1, base 6. We have to think about the fact that we're in base 6, so these aren't 1s, 10s, and 100s. Instead, what we've got here are 6 to the 0 power, which would be 1s. We've got 6 to the first power, which would be 6s. And we've got 6 to the second power, which would be 36s. So our columns are 1s, 6s, and 36s. Now we just need to evaluate this number and see what its value would be in base 10. Well, we have 3 36s, we have 4 6s, and we have 1 1. So this is where we multiply and add. The 3 36s will be 108, the 4 6s would be 24, the 1 1 would be 1, and then when we add all that together, our number is 133 in base 10. So we just converted 341 base 6 into base 10. We had 3 36s, 4 6s, and 1 1. And when we put that all together, it has a value of 133 in base 10. Next, we're going to convert 135 to base 7. This is the process where we're going to divide and subtract. Most students find this to be a little more challenging than the other direction, but if we're patient and we're careful, we'll be just fine. We're converting to base 7, so let's take a look at the place values we're going to use. We're going to have 7 to the 0 power, which will be our 1s column. We'll have 7 to the first power, which will be our 7s column. We'll have 7 to the second power, which will be our 49s column, and next would be 7 to the third power, which would be our 343s column. Well, the number I'm converting is 135, so I'm not going to need any of these. So I'm going to have a 1s column, a 7s column, and a 49s column. I just need to figure out how many of each of those I'm going to need to write the number 135. To start out, I need to figure out how many 49s there are going to be when I write this base 7 number. And the way that I answer that question is I ask myself, how many 49s will go into 135? So we'll divide 135 divided by 49, and I get an answer of 2 point something. We don't really care about this something. What we care about is that 2, because that tells us that in my base 7 number, I'm going to have a 2 in the 49's place. The next thing I have to think about is, okay, I was trying to account for 135. How much have I accounted for so far? Well, I used 2 49's, so that is 98. So how much of 135 is left that I still need to account for? Well, I had 135 when I started. I've accounted for 98 of that, which leaves me 37 that still needs to get written in my base 7 number. My next step then is I need to fill in my 7's place value in my number. I need to account for 37. So the question I ask myself is, how many 7's go into 37? Just like we did before, we're going to divide 37 divided by 7. That will be 5 point something. Here again, I'm not interested in something. What I am interested in is that 5, because now I know that in my 7th place in my number, I'm going to have a 5. And the process keeps going. What did I take care of there? Well, I had 5 7s, which takes care of 35 of this number. I had 37 that I needed to take care of, and I just took care of 35 of it. So that leaves me with 2. Well, those 2 1s are going to go in my 1s column, and I have converted 135 to base 7. It's going to be 252 base 7. One nice thing about these is that it's pretty easy to check our work by converting back into base 10. Let's take a look at how that would go. What I've just written down is 2 49s, 5 7s, and 2 1s. And I'm saying that's the same as 135. Well, let's check it. If I have 2 49s added to 5 7s added to 2 1s, this better turn out to be 135. And I've got 98 plus 35 plus 2. Sure enough, that is 135, so I'm positive that I've got the right answer for this one. Be patient and careful. You should be just fine with these.